Hello everyone and welcome to AceOSCE's video for today. I am Alicia and thank you so much for joining me for my video today. When we were doing the mock test yesterday, this was one of the questions that we got stuck in somewhere. So I wanted to discuss this with you guys. Maybe a few of you do find this helpful. Instead of a question, I'm doing a video for today. Today we're going to be discussing odds ratio. It is a ratio that helps us to calculate the odds that an event or an outcome will occur with a particular exposure versus the odds of the outcome occurring in the absence of that exposure. What are the uses of this? So it helps to assess the outcome of an exposure, for example, new drugs or vaccines. So we give the vaccine to a control group, not to the test group, and we see what the variation is in results for both of them. And of course, it also helps us to observe how effective the exposure is or how effective the vaccine or the new drug is by comparing the ratios of how many people respond to it as to how many people do not respond to it. For example, the control and the test group. Let's have a look at what the question for today is and how we can solve it. The question or the example here is straightforward. Again, may come in 1,000 different ways in the PEBC, but for the ease of simplifying the question and making you guys understand, I'm giving you a straightforward question here where a new chickenpox vaccine, which CP stands for chickenpox, is being tested on 1,000 people. Out of 1,000 people who got the vaccine, 200 developed chickenpox in their lifetime. However, out of the 1,000 people who did not get the vaccine, 600 people did get chickenpox. What is the odds ratio of chickenpox after getting the vaccine? So we do want to calculate what is the chances of a patient getting chickenpox even after getting the vaccine. So that is our first point of understanding the question. So for the test group, 200 people did get the chickenpox and 800 did not get the chickenpox. In order to calculate, we see that odds ratio is equal to chances of event of an exposure divided by chances of event without the exposure. We do make this tabular form. It really helps us to do the calculations correctly. The total amount of people in each exposed and unexposed or control and test groups are given on the left. In this case, it was 1,000 people in each. On the right side, we have a Y and N column, which specifies if the event occurred for how many people and how many people did the event not occur for, which is N. We make a table so we can easily substitute the values to calculate the odds. It will become a little bit easier when I go to the next slide where I have substituted the values already, so you can understand how this helps in calculating the odds ratio. So here we do see from the data that we got from the question that out of the 1,000 people who got the vaccine, 200 did develop chickenpox, so the event occurred in them, and the left 800 did not get chickenpox. Out of the 1,000 unexposed people or those who did not get the vaccine, 600 did get chickenpox and the rest of the 400 did not. We label them each as A, B, C, and D as I've shown in the figure above. In case the question asks for how many people did not get the chickenpox or what is the odds ratio of not getting chickenpox, we will reverse the values, so A becomes B and C becomes D. To calculate the odds ratio, we have to calculate the ratio of A divided by B or divided C divided by D. If you do the cross multiplication, our odds ratio can be calculated by AD divided by BC in total. The whole game of finding odds ratio is making up this table A, B, C, D. Again, if you have other ways of doing it, definitely go ahead. Once we substitute the values of A, D, B, and C, we get the answer as 0.166. This means 0.16 people or 16% people, which means 16 out of 100 people still will have chickenpox after getting the vaccine. So that is the odds ratio for this data. I hope this video did help you guys to calculate odds ratio. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on the platforms that are listed here. I wanted to quickly go through this question because I did see that we had a little trouble with it in the mock test, one of the sessions yesterday. And I will see you in the next video soon. Take care.